All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off because somebody needs to say it. If you're planning to move to the Sacramento area, you will end up comparing Roseville to Folsom at some point in time. It doesn't matter where you start, Elk Grove, Rockland, Granite Bay, sooner or later the search narrows down to these two suburbs, and that's when things get really interesting and honestly a little overwhelming because here's the truth. Both cities are wildly popular, both are consistently ranked some of the best suburbs in the entire state of California, and both have hardcore fan bases who swear that theirs is the clear winner, and depending on who you talk to, you'll hear drastically different opinions. Folsom's cleaner, Roseville has better shopping, Folsom schools are unbeatable, Roseville gives you way more house for the money, Folsom feels higher end, Roseville just lives easier. And when you're the one trying to make a life-changing decision, schools, pricing, commute, lifestyle, long-term value, it stops being theoretical chatter and suddenly becomes very real.
Because choosing between Roseville and Folsom isn't just choosing a house, it's choosing a pace, a lifestyle, a rhythm, a community. And here's the crazy part. One small preference you didn't even think mattered might completely change which one fits you.
So which one actually comes out on top?
All right, before we dive into the first category, let's zoom out for a second because comparing Roseville and Folsom isn't just about which one is nicer. There are layers to this decision and each category reveals something totally different about how life actually feels once you're living there.
We're gonna be breaking things down piece by piece, not just the obvious stuff like housing prices and school ratings, but the things people don't even realize matter until they actually move here. Stuff like the vibe. Does the city feel relaxed and familiar or active and elevated? Housing and price ranges, access to the commute flow, schools and education, shopping and restaurants, because nobody wants to drive 30 minutes for groceries, outdoor lifestyle and recreation, cost of living, hidden expenses, and yes, there are going to be a few surprises, and finally, who each city is actually really built for.
Because once you see each category side by side, one of these suburbs might start to feel like home, and the other starts to fade a little in comparison.
And that's when the decisions become a whole lot easier.
Roseville has that classic suburban energy, and I mean that in the best possible way. It's one of those places where life just feels organized and predictable in a way that's comforting, not boring. The pace isn't rushed, it isn't chaotic, it's steady, it's family-oriented, it's approachable. When you're driving through the neighborhoods, you see kids on scooters, teens walking home from school with Dutch brothers, and dogs being walked before dinner. And it just has that this feels right kind of vibe. You've got wide streets, well-kept homes, parks everywhere, and neighborhoods where people actually use their front yards. You know, instead of just driving into the garage and disappearing forever. And the weekends, they basically run themselves. You can grab coffee at Fourscore, Bloom, or Mojo's, depending on which part of town you live in. Then maybe you head to soccer practice or baseball practice, and then maybe you hit the Galleria or the fountains for lunch. And then you can swing through Costco because let's be honest, you're already there, and then wrap up the day grilling in the backyard while the kids run around with the neighbors. It's simple, it's predictable, and there's something really grounding about that. Roseville also has this polished feel to it. It's not flashy, it's not pretentious, it's just clean, newer, well-maintained, and thoughtfully built. And everything is convenient. The schools are close, shopping is close, parks are close. You're never wondering, okay, where do we go for blank? Because everything is already right there and easy to get to. For a lot of people, especially families, Roseville just fits. It feels like a place where routines lock into place effortlessly, where there's room to grow, and where everything from groceries to schools to activities is just easy.
Now, Folsom is a completely different story, and you'll feel it almost immediately when it comes to vibe. Folsom has this energy that kind of nudges you and says, hey, get up, we're doing something today. It's not just the sit around type of suburb, it's the let's go live life suburb. You wake up, you look outside, the trails, the water, the hills, and suddenly you're like, yeah, I could go for a morning paddleboard, why not? People here don't just actually love the outdoors, they live the outdoors. They actually use it. You'll see cyclists doing 20 to 30 mile loops around the Johnny Cash Trail, groups kayaking at sunrise, runners and stroller joggers everywhere, and more dogs than you have ever seen in your entire life, just living their best life along the lake. And the lifestyle here has that really unique balance. It's active, it's elevated, it's polished, but it's not that showy or pretentious type of lifestyle. You don't feel like you're just walking around some stuffy country club. It's more like everyone here just values health, nature, community, and good design, and the city was built around that mindset. But totally different than Roseville. Instead of errands and sports fields, it's like early hike, brunch on Sutter Street, bikes with the kids, maybe a stop at Whole Foods or the Palladio, and the day never feels wasted. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to try to be active here. Folsom kind of just has that rhythm. You see the lake and you see the trails and you see people living their life, and something in you goes, yeah, I definitely think I can do this. There's a confidence and a pride here. Not in I'm a better than you way, but more like that we love where we live kind of way, and we're out here enjoying it. It's intentional living, designed and for the people who want to connect with that lifestyle, and it feels like home the moment the car rolls in. Hey, and if this is your first time on our channel, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, where we make videos sharing exactly what it's like living here and moving to the greater Sacramento metro, especially neighborhood deep dives and the cost of living and everything in between. There's no one bringing you videos quite like we do, and on top of making these videos, we are also licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, or better yet, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and book that one-on-one strategy session so we can help put together a game plan that's going to be right for you on moving to the Sacramento area.
Roseville housing. Okay, here's where Roseville really shines. Options. And I don't mean one or two choices. I mean, there's literally something for almost every lifestyle stage and every budget category. You've got the older established neighborhoods with big trees, character, and great walkability. Then you've got the newer master plan communities, especially out in West Roseville, where everything feels fresh, modern, and thoughtfully laid out. And not just that, you have everything in between. We're talking townhomes, condos, starter homes, larger two-story family homes with lofts, bonus rooms, and space to grow. And then yes, those single-story ranch-style homes everyone asks for because nobody wants stairs forever. And if you want something a little more elevated, Roseville does luxury really well too, especially around Morgan Creek, Stone Ridge, and the golf course communities. These are the neighborhoods where you'll see manicured landscaping, beautiful architecture, and some of the really stunning custom builds. There are also multiple 55 and up communities here, which is rare. So if you're downsizing, retiring, or just want a low maintenance lifestyle with amenities, Roseville already has that set up and dialed in. Now, price-wise, here's a general idea of where things sit right now, just to give you context. So for townhomes and condos, those range from $350K up to $500K. Then most single-family homes are going to be around $575,000 up to $1 million. And then higher end or golf course luxury, you can find for $1 million to $2.5 million. So whether you're starting out relocating, upsizing, downsizing, or looking for that forever home, there's genuinely a lane for you here. And if new construction is your thing, Roseville is still building, especially in Placer 1 and West Roseville. And there are a ton of opportunities with builders offering incentives, upgrades, and quick move-in homes. Now, Roseville feels like this place where you can start your journey, grow into the next chapter, and eventually settle into the long-term version of life, all without ever needing to leave the city.
All right, so let's talk about Folsom housing. So if Roseville is all about options, then Folsom is all about intention. Nothing here feels random or thrown together. The neighborhoods are thoughtfully designed, the layouts make perfect sense, and there's this overall feeling that somebody actually sat down and said, okay, how do we make this community feel cohesive, elevated, and absolutely timeless? Housing here leans a little bit more on the newer, cleaner, and more modern side, and honestly, it's just a little bit more refined. You don't just see homes, you see planning. You see HOAs that actually enforce standards, you see architectural consistency, you see landscaping that looks like it came straight out of the builder brochure, and people keep it looking that way. Price points reflect that too, so here's what it looks like right now. Entry-level townhomes are going to be somewhere between $525 and $650. Most single-family homes in Folsom are going to start off in the low to mid 700s and go all the way up to 1.4 million, and high-end gated and custom communities, those are going to be in the 1.2 to 1.3 range, and they're going to go all the way up to 3 million. So these aren't just nice homes, they're communities with a feel. You've got trails, mature trees, gated entries, and homes with stunning lake views. For a lot of people, this feels like luxury without stepping into a private club territory. And then there's Folsom Ranch, which is basically the next chapter of the city. It's the newest and largest master plan development in the entire Sacramento region, and it's still growing. Builders like Shawwood, Tri Point, Taylor Morrison, they're all active in releasing new phases, and they are constantly making quick move-ins, hitting the market. So what's really interesting about Folsom Ranch is that it's shaping up to be a whole new and entirely new pocket of Folsom, with new parks, new schools, new shopping that is fresh and modern that you don't see in most of the older parts of the Folsom region. Now, because you're getting brand new construction, you're getting energy efficiency, smart homes, features with modern floor plans, and a little bit of these detailed designs that you just don't actually see in some of the older neighborhoods. So yeah, Folsom isn't just where you buy a house, it's where you pick a lifestyle, a look, a community, an identity, and for a lot of people, that's intentional design is exactly what makes it stand out.
Roseville absolutely takes the win when it comes to convenience, and honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with living here. Everything just feels close. You're never driving across town for basic errands. You're not dealing with confusing traffic patterns or long roundabout routes, and you're not planning your day-to-day around travel times. Things just flow. You've got multiple freeway access points. You've got I-80 and Highway 65, which makes getting to Sacramento, Rockland, Lincoln, or even Lake Tahoe surprisingly easy. And even if you avoid the freeways altogether, Roseville has a ton of back roads that connect neighborhoods in a really smart way. You can get from West Roseville to Granite Bay, Rockland, or even Folsom with very little stress. And if you're someone who hates traffic, that matters more than you think. Daily life here is extremely manageable. You need groceries, there are multiple options. You've got Nugget, Safeway, Trader Joe's, Rayleigh's, Winco, Costco. Take your pick. You want coffee, you'll probably pass 5 Starbucks and probably 3 Dutch Brothers on the way. Kids have sports, schools, fields, and gyms are close enough that you're not spending half your day in the car. Doctor appointments, Target runs, restaurants, parks, all of it is within a short, simple drive. And that convenience isn't just about saving time, it affects your lifestyle. You're not burnt out from errands, you're not sitting in traffic dreading your next stop. You actually get time back, time for dinner as a family, time for activities, time to breathe. It's one of the reasons Roseville feels so livable. Everything you need is accessible, organized, and easy. And for a lot of people, especially families, that alone can be the deciding factor.
Now, finishing up, Folsom is definitely easy to navigate, but it's spread a lot differently than Roseville. So that change, that feel of the day-to-day life, you're not dealing with clogged freeway ramps or confusing intersections, but you are traveling a little farther between pockets of the activity. So instead of one big centralized hub like Roseville, Folsom's really broken down into really intentional zones. So you have the historical district, which is where I'm at right now, down off of Sutter Street. You've got the Palladio retail district, the lake, the outdoor recreational areas, and there's going to be that newer development out there in Folsom Ranch that's going to continue to stretch south of Highway 50. So for a lot of people who live here, the commute is actually a bonus. So if you work in Rancho Cordova, El Dorado Hills, parts of Folsom, Cameron Park, or anywhere along the Highway 50 corridor, Folsom is also going to be that unbeatable city that you're going to want to live in. You're close to the tech corridor, you're close to Intel, you're close to major medical employers downtown, you're close to a ton of growing action. The cool thing is you're not just sitting in traffic here either, it moves. But if your life pulls you regularly towards Roseville, Rockland, or even that downtown Sacramento, that equation's going to shift a little bit. So the commute isn't horrible, but it's always longer if you're on Highway 50 than you are on Interstate 80. So most of the time it's pretty linear, but you don't always have the same web of alternate routes like you do in the Roseville area. So there aren't many shortcuts on this side. You've got 3 different areas that you have to cross over the river, but a lot of it's going to be surface routes or highway streets. And here's the thing, that doesn't make Folsom inconvenient. It just means that the city is designed more around a different rhythm. So you're not constantly crisscrossing around town. You're living inside of your intentional 20-minute bubble that serves your lifestyle. You wake up, you hit the lake or the trail, you hit the gym, grab some coffee, do school drop off, and everything flows in one direction. So for a lot of people, that commute keeps you closer to that 50 corridor. Nature, amenities, ski resorts, schools, recreation are all tightly integrated into that one clean loop that checks every box in Folsom.
Roseville wins shopping, period. There's really no debate there, and honestly, you feel it the moment you start driving through the main commercial areas. Roseville is definitely the hub. It's where everyone from all of the surrounding cities ends up when they need something. Whether they're coming from Rockland, Lincoln, Granite Bay, or even Auburn, if it exists in the Sacramento region, chances are Roseville has it. So let's start with the Roseville Galleria because it's pretty much the anchor. It's one of the largest malls in Northern California and it has everything from high-end brands to everyday staples. Then right across the street, you've got the Fountains, which feels more walkable and elevated. You've got restaurants, boutiques, seasonal events, think live music in the summer, but it's got a little bit of lifestyle built into it. And yes, Roseville has Costco, which absolutely matters, especially if you have kids, dogs, or a desire to feed more than one person at a time. But beyond Costco, you've got Target, Sam's Club, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Nugget Market, and honestly, grocery shopping becomes almost too easy. Restaurant-wise is the same thing. You've got all the familiar chains everyone knows, plus locally owned coffee shops, breweries, and restaurants sprinkled right in. You're never thinking, ugh, I have to drive 20 minutes for something decent. You just pick a cuisine and go because it's all close. And here's the thing, convenience isn't just about having stores nearby, it's about the way it affects your life. If you're a busy family or you're juggling sports schedules, work, school, errands, being in a place where everything is just there makes your day feel so much smoother. You don't think about logistics, you don't plan around travel time, you just live. And Roseville nails that. It's convenience without chaos, and once you experience it, it's really hard to give it up.
All right, now Folsom definitely has shopping, but it doesn't feel like that one giant commercial zone the way some of the other suburban areas do. It feels intentional, and that's the best way to describe it. It's curated, but you're not just running around doing a whole bunch of errands. You're kind of having an experience while you do it. So let's start off with the Palladio. Feels clean, super organized, walkable, and just enough elevated. You actually get two movie theaters here. You've got the Lux movie theater, which is just for adults. And then you've got the other one that's also got a movie theater for the kids. You've got restaurants, patios everywhere, boutique fitness, high-end salons, and everything that looks like it was designed to go together. It's the kind of place where you just run in for groceries and somehow end up grabbing lunch, maybe a drink, spend $200, maybe a new pair of shoes because everything just flows. And speaking of groceries, yes, Folsom has a Whole Foods market and a Nugget. And if you're the type of person who likes organic produce, local coffee, and cheeses you never really heard of but suddenly need, then this is definitely going to be your zone. Grocery shopping here feels a little less like a chore and more like a lifestyle choice. But then you have this other side of Folsom, the historic character-filled side of Folsom, and that's the Old Town, Sutter Street, Folsom, brick buildings, antique shops, breweries, coffee houses, local restaurants, live music, string lights, and it's got this small town meets modern social life vibe, and it's where you go to farmers markets, art walks, seasonal events, and just wandering around. So yeah, Folsom may not have as much quantity as Roseville, but what it does have carries personality. It feels thoughtful, stylish, walkable, and honestly, it feels like a place that you want to spend most of your time, not just a place to knock out a bunch of errands. So if you want convenience, Roseville has that handled, but if you want charm, atmosphere, and places that make everyday errands feel just a little bit more like a lifestyle upgrade, Folsom's definitely going to deliver on that one.
All right, when it comes to schools, Roseville definitely holds its own. Roseville Joint Union High School District has built a really solid reputation over the years, and a big part of why so many families choose Roseville is because the schools feel dependable, established, and balanced. It's not just about the test scores, it's about the environment and the extracurriculars, the community involvement, and the overall experience students get here. You have schools like Granite Bay High, which has been one of the top performing public high schools in the region for years. It's well established, competitive academically, and known for strong athletics, music programs, and student leadership opportunities. Families who want a well-rounded traditional high school experience tend to gravitate towards that area. Then on the other side, you've got the newer schools. And the standout right now is definitely West Park High. It's modern, it's growing quickly, and it reflects what families today want. Technology-forward classrooms, flexible learning environments, strong sports programs, and a clean, newer campus that feels exciting rather than outdated. The energy there feels fresh, and a lot of families moving from out of state love that option. There are also several highly rated elementary and middle schools throughout Roseville, and because so many neighborhoods are master planned, the schools are usually close by and integrated into the community. That means walking or biking to school is actually realistic. And if you've ever done the school drop-off circuit, you definitely know that matters. And even if someone doesn't have kids, here's the thing. Strong school districts help maintain long-term property value. Homes in areas with consistent school demand tend to hold their value better and stay competitive in any market. So if education now or someday plays a role in your decision, Roseville does a great job of offering stability, strong programming, and a range of school styles depending on what feels like the best fit.
All right, now when we talk about schools in the greater Sacramento area, Folsom almost always is the first name that comes up, and there's a reason for that. Folsom Cordova Unified School District isn't just a good school district, it consistently ranks as one of the highest or strongest public school systems in the entire region. And honestly, it's one of the major reasons why families relocate here from all over California. Sometimes before they even know anything else about the city, there are two standout schools that everyone talks about. That's going to be Folsom High School and Vista Del Lago High School. Now, both schools have incredible reputations. Both are rated 10 out of 10s most of the year, not just academically, but across the board. Sports, STEM programs, music, robotics, student leadership, AP, and honors offerings, you name it, these schools are competitive. And students coming out of them are set up really well for college, trade school, or whatever path that they choose in life. And here's what families notice when they tour the campuses or talk to locals. The schools aren't just facilities, they're community hubs. Friday night football games feels like a big event in Folsom. Choir, band programs are huge. Parents are involved. Teachers tend to stay longer than normal, and there's a sense of pride, not just from students, but from an entire city perspective. And the growth happening in Folsom Ranch, the district is expanding with brand new schools, new elementaries, new middles, playgrounds, technology, which is really appealing to families who like the idea of a modern, fresh environment for their student. Even if somebody doesn't have kids, here's the quiet truth. Strong school districts protect long-term home values. Homes in top-rated school areas tend to sell faster, retain value during market shifts, and attract a consistent buyer demand. So whether you're thinking about education right now, or you're thinking about resale in 5 to 10 years from now down the road, Folsom reputation is always going to carry its weight in the Sacramento metro. So yeah, families don't just move to Folsom with kids. People move to Folsom because they plan to have kids, and that tells you everything that you need to know.
Now, when it comes to parks, outdoor activities, and weekend recreation, Roseville does such an amazing job of making life feel full without making it complicated. It's one of those places where you don't have to plan months ahead or drive across town just to get outside and do something fun. The options are already built into the community. There are parks tucked into almost every neighborhood. We're talking big ones, small ones, themed playgrounds, splash pads in the summer, shaded walking loops, open green spaces for soccer or flag football, and plenty of sports where kids can actually just be kids. And if you have little ones, Roseville's park system is kind of a dream. You can rotate weekend spots and never run out of places to explore. For families with active kids or adults who love organized sports, the sports complexes are a huge win. There are fields for soccer, baseball, football, pickleball, because apparently everyone loves to play that now. You've got tennis courts, community rec programs. You can tell the city put a lot of thought into building a community where movement is part of everyday life. Then you've got the bike paths and walking trails, which connect a ton of areas in a really smart way. Whether you're biking as a family, jogging in the morning, or walking the dog after dinner, there are safe, clean, scenic routes everywhere. It makes movement feel easy, not like a chore. And if golf is your thing, Roseville has multiple courses and country club options, ranging from family-friendly to more advanced play, depending on what you're looking for. So whether your weekends look like playground hopping with toddlers, running from sports games to sports games, biking together as a family, or enjoying a slower walk with a coffee in hand, Roseville makes that lifestyle effortless. It's one of the reasons families settle in and stay, because recreation isn't something you plan. It's just part of the rhythm of living here.
All right, now Folsom takes the whole outdoor lifestyle idea and just cranks the dial all the way up to 10. If Roseville is the place where families go to parks and kids burn energy, Folsom is the place where people actively live outside. And it's not just because the amenities exist, it's because the culture actually uses them. You've got Folsom Lake, which is basically the crown jewel of power boating. You've got Lake Natoma for paddleboarding, kayaking, fishing. You'll see people out there at sunrise, glassy water before most neighborhoods have even turned on their coffee machines. And it's not a once in a while thing here. For a lot of residents, that's just how they start their day. Then you have the American River, which cuts right through the region and gives you access to everything from whitewater kayaking to lazy summer float days. And the trail system is next level. We're talking miles and miles of connected bike paths, including the Johnny Cash Trail, where you'll see cyclists, runners, walkers, families, dogs. Everybody's out moving. Even the neighborhood reflects that kind of mindset. Sidewalks everywhere, tons of pockets, parks, wide open green spaces, workout stations along trails. It's all built to be used, not just admired by the people on the sidelines. And the people here, they actually do. Saturday mornings look like muddy bikes leaned against SUV paddleboards on roof racks, running shoes drying on the door, because the lifestyle here is intentional. It's part fitness culture, part nature lover culture, part why waste a beautiful day inside culture. And even if you're not already an outdoorsy person, something about Folsom just kind of nudges you in that direction. So you'll see the lake, you'll see the bikes, you'll see trails packed with people of all ages. Suddenly you're like, yeah, maybe I do want to do a hike before brunch. much. So if you want that active, outdoorsy, nature integrated way of living, not just access, but community that expects it from Folsom, it's hands down unmatched in the greater Sacramento metro. Even people who don't move here for that lifestyle end up adopting it super quick.
Roseville is generally more affordable, especially when we're talking about housing. And that's a big reason so many families choose it. When people are comparing Roseville and Folsom side by side, the conversation almost always comes back to space, price, and long-term affordability. And in Roseville, your money stretches further. You can get more square footage, larger yards, newer builds, and often more features for the same or sometimes significantly less than what you'd pay for in Folsom. That's something we hear all the time from clients moving here from the Bay Area, Southern California, or out of state. They see Roseville and go, okay, this actually feels like something we can grow into. Whether that means a bigger home for a growing family, a single-story floor plan for convenience, or just more flexibility without blowing the budget, Roseville has that sweet spot where lifestyle and affordability balance out. And it's not just the sticker price of the home. Property taxes, utilities, amenities, and everyday cost of living tend to feel a bit more approachable here as well. You're not constantly paying premiums for being in a high-demand area. You still get incredible schools, great shopping, parks, newer neighborhoods, and all the convenience without feeling like you're financially stretched just to be here. Now, does Roseville have higher end pockets? Absolutely. There are luxury homes, golf course communities, and gated neighborhoods. So it's not just affordable, it's scalable, meaning you can start here, move through the different chapters of life, and never have to leave the city to find your next home. So whether someone's just entering the market, relocating with a budget in mind, or simply prioritizing value without sacrificing lifestyle, Roseville tends to feel accessible, realistic, and smart. For a lot of people, that peace of mind matters just as much as the house itself.
Now, finally, the last one is going to be cost of living. Yeah, Folsom is definitely going to cost you more, and that's usually the moment where people pause and go, is it actually worth it? And the short answer to a lot of people is yes. For a lot of people, because when you look at what you get in return, it's not just higher pricing, it's a different tier of lifestyle and environment. You see the difference in a way neighborhoods are planned, in the style of homes, the quality of schools, the condition of the parks and the trails, and even the overall feel of the community. There's a level of intentionality in Folsom that's hard to ignore. It feels clean, organized, and elevated. Like somebody completely designed this city with the mindset of how do we make this kind of place where people are proud to live in. Lake access alone changes everything, but something about being 5 minutes to 10 minutes from the water, whether you're actually using it or you're just knowing it's there, that adds a lifestyle value that you really can't quantify on a spreadsheet. Same thing with the trail system and the outdoor culture. It's built in and people use it here every single day. And then there's the schools. People move here because they plan to have kids someday. That demand creates the stability. Stability drives desirability, and the desirability was what protects the long-term value. So yeah, the price tag in Folsom is typically going to be a little bit higher, but what you're really paying for is a package. The schools, the planning, the lifestyle, the access to nature, the pride of ownership, and a community that feels completely dialed in for people who want to connect to that standard, the experience, that environment. It doesn't just feel expensive, it feels completely justified.
Okay, so after everything we've talked through, the lifestyle, the housing, the commuting, the schools, shopping, outdoor activities, this is usually the moment where people start leaning one direction without even realizing it. And this is where Roseville really reveals who it's built for. Roseville is such a great fit if you want life to feel easy and organized. If you love having everything close, we're talking schools, stores, sports fields, Target runs, Costco runs, parks, coffee shops, this place just simplifies your schedule. You're not spending half your day driving around, and your weekends don't require a ton of planning. Everything is close, everything is accessible, and everything feels like it was built to support everyday life without stress. It's also ideal if you want more home for the money, whether that means a bigger yard, more square footage, a newer build, or just more flexibility in your budget. You don't have to stretch quite as hard to get what you want here. And that's a big deal when you're thinking long-term. And the family-friendly feel, that part isn't just a tagline. You feel it in the parks, in the schools, in the neighborhoods, at the sports complexes. There's a sense of rhythm and community here. Roseville is a place where routines fall into place and life feels comfortable in the best possible way. So if convenience, value, community, and a smooth day-to-day life are high on your list, Roseville tends to feel like the right match.
All right, so now let's talk about who Folsom fits best. Folsom is for the people who want a little extra, whether that's in lifestyle, design, environment, or just the way a city is laid out. It's for the person or family who loves being active, loves being outdoors, loves the idea of trails and lakes and recreation being a part of everyday life, not just a weekend thing. Now, if you're looking for a community that feels polished and intentional, where the homes, the parks, the neighborhoods, and the commercial centers, the schools all feel like they were planned with purpose, Folsom's gonna hit a lot of those marks. It's also for people who want top-tier schools and are thinking long-term, not just for the now, but 5, 10, or 15 years down the road. There's a level of consistency and reputation that gives people confidence. And then there's the lake lifestyle. You don't have to be a paddleboarder or a kayaker or a trail runner to even appreciate that. But if you're that kind of person, then Folsom isn't just appealing, it's unmatched in the entire region. So if you want that active, elevated lifestyle where nature, design, and community all blend together, Folsom's definitely gonna be your place.
All right, so which one is better? Honestly, there isn't a single right answer.
Yeah, now that's because the decision isn't just about which city is objectively better, it's about which one fits you better.
Your rhythm, your routines, your priorities.
Your commute,
your long-term plan,
your budget, and what lifestyle you want that budget to support.
And sometimes all it takes is walking a neighborhood, grabbing coffee in a local spot, or touring a model home to suddenly realize, oh, this feels right.
So whether Roseville already feels like it's calling your name or Folsom feels like the lifestyle you've been searching for, we're absolutely here for you to help make that right choice. So this is where that phone number pops up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, and we absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So give us a phone call, shoot us a text, or send us that email, or better yet, book that one-on-one strategy session by scanning the QR code. And if you're not quite ready for any of those things, you can always download our real estate app. We have tons of resources, all the vendors, all the relocation guides, the area guides for all the different areas that you're thinking about moving to. So that phone number is going to be up there. We absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us, and we'll see you on the next one.